Means of control for air supply to the space. Means of control to air supply means ventilators, whatever are there, should be controllable. Controllable means, in simple words, you should be able to open or close them. Simple. Flammable liquids. Control of flammable liquids in space means flammable liquids will be basically oils. So how do you control them? Same way, you have to open and shut arrangement. So you can stop the flow and you can allow the flow. So you should be able to stop it from outside. Use of flammable material shall be restricted, which is most logical thing, isn't it? You don't want fire, so you should restrict it, combustible materials. Control of air supply and flammable liquid in space. Now, basically what you are talking is closing appliances, stopping devices. One thing always there, that every compartment ventilation system can be shut from outside the compartment, not from inside. It is controlled from outside. So that in case there is a fire in the compartment, you don't have to enter the compartment. You stay out and you stop the air supply. Now, wherever it is, like I'm going to go fast on this. Power ventilation, you will have a place where you will have switches. You switch off from a remote position. That means not inside the compartment in any case. And that position is protected from fire. That means no matter what happens, you will have access to it even when there is fire, and you will be able to control the ventilation, as well as the similar arrangement will come down is a fuel supply. That is what we talk about, quick closing valves and all, lot of stuff is there. That is how we stop the supply of fuel. And ventilation, one is a natural ventilation for which you have got a flaps. The flaps you can close from outside. And when you have got powered ventilation, you can switch off the fans, as well as you can close, the ventilator flap. That is also done from outside. So no control is inside the compartment. Like for example, right now, I have got AC control inside the compartment in my hand. So if this is on fire, I cannot stop that. Windows I open and close from inside. So in case this goes on fire and windows are open, there is nothing I can do. Whereas on the ship, we don't talk about windows or portholes, because portholes and all are not meant to be left open for ventilation purpose. Ventilation happens through ducting. So that is where all the controls are outside. Now on passenger ships, you will have maybe two places control. From two separate places you can switch off ventilation as well as close ventilation. Lot of ventilation can be closed, and there are different types of methods. By in case of fire, you just press one switch and the electromagnets holding the doors can close. Not only doors, but also the flaps in engine room. Skylights, means shall be provided to open and close skylights. Why? Because engine room is always under positive pressure and you want to remove the heat also. So generally the topmost point is used for releasing heat, and that is where we have the skylights. So skylights are, okay, I'll just put it in. Okay. So the skylights has got generally hydraulic arrangement, generally. So you start the pump and you from one place you open and close the skylights. And that because skylights also act as the ventilator dampers. Stopping ventilation fans, I told you, they are in a place, two different places, no issues, but they are not close to the compartment which is on fire. So from a remote position, from a safe position, you can stop the ventilation. This is getting repeated again and again because small things are there which are, there's no purpose in going in details over it right now. As you grow up, then you will be going more in details of these subsections. Oil transfer pumps, all these things can be controlled from a distance. Then controls for any fire extinguishing system shall be situated in control position, that is control room, or some few positions. And they all have safe access to the open deck. Means in short, going through all these rules, the remote control are in safe places. And that is technically actually is protected by class A bulkheads. Additionally, for unattended machinery spaces, what happens is the bridge becomes the control point. From bridge, you can shut out everything. And they are always under positive pressure. And since the ship is going to be on unattended machinery spaces, there are additional requirements, which practically every ship today is unattended machinery space. So there is not something more to add. Use of non-combustible material, obviously, insulators are a big, generally the problem, insulating materials, because earlier ones were not exactly non-combustible. Over a period, they found better and better materials. So what we do is we try to use the best of the materials available, and if at all we have to use something which has got combustible properties, then we look at low flame spread. Means the flame will not travel fast. It will take longer time. Now what happens where you use insulating materials, ceilings and the sides, means all the walls and ceiling, so that because ships can go to very cold temperatures like -25, -30. So what happens to inside temperature has to be around 25 degrees. So difference of about 50 degrees that is protected by this insulating material. Now, some places where you need to have better insulation, that is where generally the combustible material comes in. Otherwise, we can use, because then our priority is non-combustible material. The insulation value up and down, we don't mind. So those places, we'll use that insulation. But when it comes to cabins, like, mail room, baggage room, saunas, refrigerated compartments, you have to use better insulation. Then, now this 1C is one of the methods. As the cargo ship, you are given an option of either use this, or this, option A, option B, option C. So that is what we are looking at, these numbers, 1 to the 3C. So this is not required at this stage, but you should know it when you clear second METS. Combustible materials, if they have to be used, they also go through the tests ashore. And then you will be allowed certain things because, like for example, passenger ship, you have to have sauna bath. So there you need wooden. So wood is combustible, but still it will be allowed. Normally what happens, the curtains and other things what we use on board can be coated with, like there are coatings available, like 3M and all produce them, to make it fireproof. You can do that. So based on the shape, we try to convert combustible material into non-combustible material, and we restrict the flow as much as possible. The total volume of combustible material is controlled. We try our best, but नहीं जमता है तो थोड़ा compromise इधर उधर. And low flame spread is also a requirement. For that, you can coat it with chemicals and all, like 3M and all. They have got chemicals. You spray them over, they become like fireproof. Like even the fireman's outfits and all, they don't catch fire. We go to the next one. Five is over. Let's move to 6. This is relatively short one because what happens is smoke generation potentiality, potential and toxicity. Now, basically when you use any paint, any chemicals, if they burn, they will always produce smoke and toxicity. So what happens is when we use paint, varnishes, other finishes, we try to use materials which will produce the minimum amount of smoke and minimum toxicity. Like you must have seen, you all have grown up with it actually, that the children's products today are all non-toxic paints, because over the years technology developed and we came out with non-toxic paints. Earlier days things were toxic and nobody bothered much about it, but then use was different. Once people realized that, like soft toys children put in mouth and all, right? And there can be toxic paint. So that is not permitted. Even India is a country which has accepted it, so it's signatory to that. But a lot of Indian products got caught because they were light. The dyes they use were toxic, whereas they said they are non-toxic. So like we try to use all non-toxic products, including paints and all. But it's not always possible, so you minimize it. Primary deck covering means what earlier days what used to happen was we had only rails and we used to tie up this, like trying to make a tent like thing. So we used to tie it up. So those materials, if they catch fire, they should not be giving toxic or smoke. Both the things they shouldn't be giving. Means the idea is we reduce toxicity and smoke if it catches fire. If smoke can kill. 7. Hmm. Your resubmission is really going on everywhere. Huh? GK sir also has just now put a message. 41 resubmitted, 34 remaining. Rescue coils are like a ring. Okay, this is from LSA. They are plastic ring or rubber rings which float. So you tie up a line to it, the heaving line type of line, the what we say lifeline. It is tied to that and it is a small thing, something like this. This is just the rings what we use for playing, something like that, but that floats. and that is why it's called quoit. Quoit is the ring. And then you throw it because you need some weight, otherwise you can't throw the lifeline. And the guy who is supposed to be rescued holds it and then you pull it. Detection and alarm. We must detect fire in space of origin and provide an alarm for safe escape and firefighting activity. It is a basic principle. That is the purpose. Now, fixed fire detection fire alarm system shall be suitable for nature of space, fire growth potential, and potential generation of smoke and gases. That means you have to have a fixed system which will detect fire in any form, including smoke and gases if at all. Okay? And manually operated call points shall be placed readily accessible. Now that is every 20 meters, you have got a manually operated call point. What is a call point? It is a simple press button switch and which is closed with a flap, safety flap. Safety flap is because accidentally you don't want to switch on the fire alarm. Call point is to switch on fire alarm. Fire patrol means manual people, means a pair. They go around detecting and locating fires and alerting, because first thing is you have to detect and locate the fire. If you detect the fire, that means you know where it is, that is location is over, and then they use the nearest call point as well as their walkie-talkie sets to inform navigation bridge and fire teams. So moment you start alarm, then everybody knows. So that time fire team, everybody is active. Every ship is provided with fixed fire detection and fire alarm system. And fixed fire detection, fire alarm system, sample extraction smoke detection system. Okay, now wherever you are going to use smoke detection system, you have got choices, either the direct one or extraction system. Sample extraction system means there is a tube and there is a suction pump on other side, and tube sucks the samples which are processed at a distance, and then it is decided whether there is fire or no. Now, every compartment will have at least one, every compartment, at least one fire detector. Always keep it in mind. So you look for one, at least one. There will be more than one. Now, when you fix up any detection system, anything, first thing is you install it. After installation, it must be tested. That is the initial test after installation. And after that, now first test has established that it is working, right? It is a proper system. Then you have a periodical test to ensure that the system is always working. Now periodical test will be decided maybe every month. Means, it's a planned system. We do certain checking every week, certain checking every 2 weeks, monthly, 3 monthly, 6 monthly, and so on. And now, how do you check it? Periodical test. Once upon a time, we used to depend on heavy smoker who used to come there and then like a big shot that time, deep breath and take so much smoke inside. Then he used to blow into the thing, and then the alarm used to go, barabar, chal raha hai. Heat detectors were tested by guys by using a lighter flame laga, jal raha hai. Well, that is not done today. Today you have got gadgets available, aerosol cans and so on, and that at right temperatures we test them. So we don't go to those extreme cases what we did earlier. Today you have got gadgets which are to be used, and they have been like planned systems. When to test, what to test, how to test, everything is properly defined with proper devices being available. Machinery space will have a fixed fire detection, fire alarm system. Now, what happens is, if you had a fully manned system, then requirements come down because somebody is there. If there is a fire, he is going to report. It used to happen long ago when shifts were manual, totally manual. There were no control rooms only. Over a period, you have got automatic systems, so that has to be there. Then automatic or remote control and under continuous man supervision. The man supervision from control room is what? On normal ships, control room is bridge, navigation bridge, because it's always manned. That is continuously manned supervision. Why? It is always manned. Whereas engine room, unmanned time, nobody is there. Now, here what we are looking at it. Engine room has to have mixture of detectors, not only thermal. You will have flame detectors, you will have thermal detectors, you will have smoke detectors based on what part it is put. So it's a combination. And all of them, detection system must initiate audible and visual alarm. So every alarm in engine room is always audible as well as visual. There is no alarm in engine room which is only one of the two. Never. Both are always there. And when navigation bridge is unmanned and the alarm shall sound in a place where responsible member of the crew is on duty. Now this situation comes up on passenger ships generally because the first thing, we don't like the alarm to initiate immediately on passenger ships because of panic problems. There can be stampede, people can die. So they have got a separate control room, control station. That is where first alarm comes, and then they decide what to do next. That will come down afterwards. Okay. So first thing is, if navigation bridge is unmanned, then it will be in some other place where somebody is there. That means we give absolutely topmost priority to these alarms, fire alarms. Okay, smoke detectors in accommodation spaces normally. Why? Because normally the heat and all will not be generated in accommodation. And accommodation has got things which are combustible in nature, like you have got paneling, you have got insulation, you have got beds, mattresses, etc. So the smoke alarms are always there. And like passenger ships will have smoke alarms, plus they will have sprinkler systems. Cargo ships, normally you will not see sprinkler system. Odd ship may have, but by and large, no, because everybody is a professional. Then detectors are in every zone, every cabin and all. This is continuous. Like automatic sprinkler system. Now what is a sprinkler system? It also detects the fire, it sets off alarm, and it extinguishes the fire. Means it tries to extinguish that fire, fights the fire on own. Those three things comes with a sprinkler system. Then atrium spaces, you have got atriums are like, in malls and all, you see open space with a high ceiling and all. So that is something similar. One things are there on passenger ship. They are called atriums. Now here are those three methods: 1C, 2C, 3C. So you have got an option of one of the three. to apply on your ship. Now it is already pre-selected, so when you join the ship, you know which one is there, and all you have to do is maintain it. Protection of cargo spaces in passenger ships. So usual fixed fire detection, fire alarm, and or a sample extraction system, fine. And if they are on short with this thing, then they give concessions. Actually, these days probably people may not be going so much for concessions because the cost involved is not much. So they generally go for better systems, and to encourage them, the insurance companies also start giving special discount on premium, saying that if you have got this system, okay, we reduce premium a bit. Why? Because their risk is reduced. Manually operated call points, I told you, those are the switches which are 20 meters from each other. Here, these are the 20 meters. So you will never have to go more than 20 meters to press a switch to activate fire alarm. Fire patrol is a manual thing and it's compulsory. 2 persons having access to everything means they can even go through and peep through things to see the fire. And they also carry VHF set and torch and other things, whatever they need it. But they are given the charge of going around the ship looking for fire. Okay? This fire alarm signaling system on passenger ships is something you must understand. When anything initiates fire alarm, it is received in their control station by a responsible member. What he does is, immediately, he will generally initiate alarm to some crew member, not give the alarm straight away, because you do get a lot of false alarms. So idea is, in case there is a false alarm, you don't want to activate full firefighting, because passengers can get totally confused and panicky. So on passenger ships, you have a system which delays the fire alarms. And one of the thing is fail-safe principle. Open detector circuit shall cause alarm condition. That means fail-safe is what? The, say, detector or the device. That device keeps on checking itself. It always has got something going on to tell you, I am working, I am working, I am working. Moment something goes wrong, I am not working means it is a alarm. That means that alarm doesn't mean there is a defect on the device or there is a fire. Both. Moment you get alarm, you have to go and check it. That time you will realize that, okay, this device is defective, but there is no fire. But you always treat it as a fire first. So fail-safe principle is self-checking and announcing I am working, I am working. Moment I am not okay, alarm starts. That is fail-safe. So now this one is also finished, and I am getting alarm that my finger. Let me try out other one. Okay, my other changing over, is it possible? I don't know. I don't know, something is wrong since yesterday with Zoom. Is there any change? Any change? Can you see me? No change. I don't know, because again that thing gave me a thing. Okay, good. Good. Anyway, I'm getting alarm from Bluetooth saying it is low, but shouldn't be the problem. It's too old. Okay, we got 10 minutes. Let's see 8, how big it is. Then because next time we are going to complete the 4. इसका एग्जाम, हाँ ओके, थर्ड ईयर guys are going to get exams. ये तो छोटा है, ये 8 rule number है. It basically tells you that remote control is there everywhere. The control stations are protected. Okay, smoke will not spread. And release of the smoke from machinery space, you can use the blowers to blow it off. Because in smoke you can't see, you can't fight fire, but this is to be considered very carefully, because when you try to blow out smoke, you are also providing oxygen to the fire. So that is one of the delicate decisions. But there is an arrangement to release smoke. And draft stops also, because what happens is the drafts get created. So there are also flaps which can be closed so that the draft will stop. And smoke extraction system in atrium of passenger ships is the one where it sucks off the smoke. So you can switch on and suck off. Of course, you are allowing oxygen, but it is like a devil's choice. If you have smoke, you can't see and you can't fight. If you remove the smoke, there can be little bit escalation of the fire. But this is what Rule 8 says. Now